Hey there. If you are disappointed in how little curriculum you finished this year in your homeschool, then I want you to hang with me for a minute because I think what I have to say is going to be really encouraging for you. And I know that we've just spent the last, five weekdays talking about all the reasons why you didn't have to finish your curriculum in order to move on in the school year. But I know that just because you realize, okay, yes, it's okay to move on, even though we didn't finish everything, just because you understand that doesn't necessarily mean that you're okay with the fact that you maybe didn't get even half of it done, that you got so little of it done compared to what you expected to get done. And I know that there's still concern there about how can this have been a good homeschooling year? How could this have been a good education if we only got through this much curriculum? For just a couple minutes, I want to give you some encouragement around that point. Before I do, just a quick reminder that if you want next year to be a better year, please get on my mailing list so that you can get the encouragement that I send every week and also have the opportunity to join us in something that is opening on Monday, but we have a very, very limited number of spots available. So if you are not yet on our list, go to goodschooling.net, scroll to the bottom, put your email in, and then you can be a part of what's coming on Monday, and then also get encouragement in your inbox all the time that is going to help you make next year better and your whole homeschooling journey much more enjoyable. So here's the thing that I want you to think about, okay? I know that curriculum tends to be the thing that we hyper-focus on as homeschoolers. And I know that one of the main ways that we kind of measure how we're doing is by looking at the curriculum we have gotten through. And so it is natural, if you have not gotten through very much, to start thinking, yikes, this year was really bad. And it is really easy as well to think, well, gosh, if my kid had been in public school, they would have done this and this and this and this and this and all of this other stuff. Am I really giving my child a decent education, a halfway decent education, if all we got through was just this stuff? Here is what I want you to do, though. Stop thinking for a moment about the curriculum side of your homeschool. I want you to think about what your child's stress level was like when they were in public school. I want you to think about what your stress level was like. Now, I know homeschooling, has its own level of stress, right? Particularly with this being first year for you, for a lot of you. Or maybe it wasn't your first year, but maybe it was your second or your third, and you can't seem to break out of this rut of everything just always being frustrating. So yes, there's still going to be stress. I'm not going to say that you're not stressed, but when you think about the kind of stress that you had to deal with in public school, or that your child had to deal with in public school, and the level of exhaustion, the level of, or I should say maybe the lack of sleep that you were getting, that your child was getting, what your schedule was like, are you able to see an improvement in what all of that was like this year? Maybe your child used to get headaches all the time and now suddenly they don't anymore. Maybe they used to get stomach aches all the time. Oh my goodness, I was the queen of headaches and stomach aches when I was a child in school because public school stressed me out so bad. Maybe your child's attitude has improved. Maybe their behavior has improved. Think about how the decision to bring your kids home, to invest in your relationship with them, not just in their education, but in your relationship with your child, how the decision to prioritize your child's mental health, your child's maybe even their physical health, prioritizing your family, how making this decision to keep your family together, to spend more time together, to have complete authority over your child's education, even if you feel like it didn't go super well. Think about all of the positive that has come out of that decision. Think about, for those of you who have a child who in the public schools maybe had to deal with an IEP or a 504. They maybe worked with resource teachers. They have some kind of learning challenge or learning disability that makes learning really difficult. Chances are school has always been incredibly stressful for them. Kids figure out pretty early that, when they have issues that make learning hard, they figure out pretty quickly that, gosh, this is a lot easier for everybody else. I'm not good at this school stuff. And every single day, they're going into that environment that is telling them, you're not good at this. You don't read well. You don't do math well. They're constantly comparing themselves to others. They're constantly seeing how much better everybody else seems to be at this thing. And it doesn't matter how hard they try, it is so difficult for them. For them to be in an environment now where they're not constantly comparing themselves to other kids, where they're not constantly being told in either subtle or very blatant ways that they are not good at being a student, they're not good at learning. How being in an environment where somebody allowed them to finally just work at their pace, to finally just be able to learn in a way that actually works for them, to be able to learn in a way that allows them to capitalize on their strengths instead of constantly having to focus on their weaknesses. How incredibly encouraging that must have been for your child. Maybe you didn't get through a lot of curriculum this year, but maybe your kids got a lot more sleep. Maybe they got a lot more opportunity to relax. Maybe they got a lot more opportunity to be able to spend time with you, with your spouse, with their siblings. And you got the opportunity to spend more time with your kids. Here's the thing. When your kids are in public school, they're being exposed to a lot. Maybe they would have been exposed to a lot more than what they were exposed to this year. Exposure is not the same as learning. Maybe they would have completed a lot more workbooks and a lot more worksheets and a lot more projects. Busy work is not learning. You don't have to do 40 math problems in one day just to figure out how to do this one little thing. Or maybe you do, but all at once in one day when it's going to take you 3 hours versus doing 4 problems today and 5 problems tomorrow and 3 the next day and 8 the next day. Okay, yes, it's possible your children would have done more in public school this year, but that does not mean that their education would have been better. And it does not mean that they would have learned more. And everything that you did this year showed your kids that you want the best for them, that you are willing to make sacrifices to build your connection with them, to build their self-esteem back up, to build their view of themselves as a student, to prioritize their health. These are all lessons that are incredibly valuable for your kids. And the education your kids got this year, the quality of this significantly trumps any of the busy work that they would have been doing in public school. And those of you with kids who have learning disabilities, I'm not saying that all of a sudden all of those were gone, right? Those of us, and I am one of them too, those of us who have kids who have learning challenges, we know that learning is just, it can be more difficult for them. And as their parent, as their homeschool teacher, it can be hard sometimes to figure out the best way to work with them. But that one-on-one time, that opportunity to have somebody right there with them, not just a resource teacher that they come in and they spend 20 minutes with, not just the classroom teacher that they're lucky if they get 5 minutes of that teacher's time over the course of the whole day because she's trying to work with 30 other kids or more, right? Just being able to sit with somebody who gets them at a level that their teachers would never have gotten them, to be able to sit with them, walk them through, not compare them, not constantly tell them how they need to improve their grades, they need to bring these grades up, they need to work harder and all this other stuff, right? The quality of the environment that your kids were in this year, the quality of your relationship with them, the opportunity that they had to experience what it's like to have a learning environment that is encouraging and empowering and relaxing and not stressful. You guys, these things are so much more important than the curriculum that you did not finish. So if that has been stressing you out, and yes, maybe you watched the videos that I already did this week and last week about why it's okay to move on even though you didn't finish, all that curriculum. Even if you got that, and I know that even if you got that, you may still have been struggling with, but did my kids did they learn anything this year? Oh my gosh, you guys, they learned so much, and they learned important things. And one of the most important things they learned is that they can they can learn in a way that actually works for them, and that learning does not have to be massively stressful, super boring, and a constant struggle. That is so valuable. So if you have been struggling with this, I hope that this is something that encourages you, that helps you to feel a little better about what this year has been like. Now, like I said at the beginning, if you know that you have room for improvement, and we all have room for improvement, right? Then get on my mailing list so that you can see the announcement that's coming on Monday. And you are going to be so glad that you did, because this summer could be the turning point for your homeschool that might unlock long-term homeschool success, long-term homeschool enjoyment, not being stressed out, not being frustrated, and help you also to unlock your true homeschooling potential. Thank you so much for hanging with me. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye.